Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Sarcastic Barman and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be checking out our part 2 of the evolution facts and crap and how this person's fucking stupid, basically. So without further ado, let's crack on with that.
The theory of evolution states that minute improvements in an individual within a species increases the likelihood of survival of the offspring. These small steps of improvements continue for countless years, until the individuals are changed to such a large extent that a new species has appeared. This progression is an uninterrupted branch of the evolutionary tree. These lines of progression can be seen in any biology textbook for many species, including mankind. They almost look believable.
Yep. Certain characteristics get passed down and better characteristics help those animals promote their genes better. Let's go back to giraffes. The one with an inch longer neck might do better at getting more leaves and more berries. Then it becomes a bigger animal. It becomes a more dominant alpha. This alpha then passes its genes through a good selection of the herd. That herd then inherits those qualities. Ta-da! Longer necks on the next generation. Might not be a longer neck for another couple of generations, and then, oh look, this one's got slightly longer again, it's slightly bigger, it does slightly better, or maybe it's got slightly better hearing. You can hear the fucking hyenas, cheetahs, lions, whatever, coming from further away, or better eyesight. These things get passed down little by little by little, with minute changes over generations upon generations. What's your fucking point to this now?
The siblings of an individual on the uninterrupted branch may fail to develop the minute improvement, and may even suffer from an inferior evolutionary change.
Yep, and the ones that don't inherit these qualities won't do as well in life as the ones that have, meaning there's less chance of them procreating, passing on these genes that aren't as favourable, and instead the ones that did inherit the genes pass them on. So, yeah.
Each of these individuals represents a new branch on the tree that is moving away from the uninterrupted branch. Let us say we have 100,000 coexisting individuals in a species such as a horse. Only a few of these individuals will begin new branches that will eventually become a new species, such as a zebra. The other 99,999 individuals may each begin a neutral, or inferior branch, that may continue for millions of years, but will eventually stop, because the last individual on the branch fails to produce an offspring.
Right, evolution, as you put it there, not far off, will be fair, but we're going to scale back the 100,000 to 1 to, we'll start with 100. So we'll start with 100 zebras. We'll make 40 of them male, we'll make 60 of them female. I don't know if this is the right ratio for a zebra herd. I'm very unsure. I didn't bother to look. But we'll say from those that 20 of the males have the darker fur and 40 of the females. So they're the more striped individuals. Now, it will go for 1 year. In the 1 year, say 10 of them get killed by the insects that attack the ones that haven't got as much of a prominent stripe and catch the disease that these insects carry and die. And we'll say 5 of them die from old age and 5 of them get eaten by lions. So we're left with 80. Now, of these 80, there's going to be some births, obviously. If we say there's 30 births, we'll say out of those 30 births, 19 more have got more stripes, so 11 don't. So we're now at a herd of 110. Now, of these 110, we've got 33 now with the light fur, but 67 with the dark fur. Now, if this sort of progression continued over, say, 10, 12 generations, each year less and less of the zebras would die from the disease. And then those genes would be passed on more and more. So you could see in in say 50, 60 generations, being none of the lighter ones available. This does not mean that the insects would not have evolved as well, hence the constant ongoing evolutionary cycle of getting a better pattern, getting some darker fur. But because it's all blind stabs in the dark, it will just keep continuing forever and ever.
The odds that the branch will stop producing offspring is increased when the minute evolutionary changes are inferior. The theory of survival of the fittest or natural selection also works in reverse to produce death to the branch where the changes are inferior. The branch stops. This part of the tree is dead. One superior individual of the 100,000 is missing, but now we have an even more serious defect in the theory. Where are the 99,999 inferior branches? How could 99,999 branches go missing? Actually, the fossil record shows that everything is missing. No individuals of the species existed.
Fuck's sake, we're still going on about this shit. I just quite well explained that a minute ago. So we'll go back to your 100,000 and only one inherits the new thing. So one out of these lots. This one will then have sex with some of these ones and produce more babies. So the next generation might have 2. From that 2, the next generation might have 4, then 8, then 16, then 32, then 128, then 256. Are you getting the fucking point here? It doesn't mean that those 990, those other ones, die out quickly in one go. They will continue, and this is why you see a gradual change in an animal. Moving on.
None. Most layers of the Earth's crust are completely devoid of all life, but then a layer will appear that is teeming with an absolute abundance of separate species, each containing millions of individuals. Where are the fossils of horses with weak bones that fractured early in life, and thereby prevented an offspring from continuing the branch?
Now, all you're showing now is you don't know how fossils are formed. Now, let's be fair, fossils don't form for every single dead animal in the fucking world. Otherwise, yes, we would find fossils fucking everywhere. There has to be the right circumstances, the right level of moisture, to pressure, all of that jazz. You have to have it compacted as well. It's not just going to lay there and then, yeah, look, now it's a fossil a million years later and it's still on the top. No, that's not how this shit works, let's be fair. And have you gone through every single fossil in the entire basis and found the ones with the shitty legs? No, I bet you fucking haven't. But I bet if you had a paleontologist here and said, have you ever found a dinosaur that had a bit of a shit leg that looked like it wouldn't do very well? You'd probably go, well, yeah, that species went extinct. Oh, wait, look at that. Knob.
They don't exist, but they should, if the theory of evolution was true. In fact, the fossil record should be full of dead branches, which is not. The fossil record simply shows individual species that have become extinct.
So, in your world, there should be branches where these species should go extinct. But you're saying there's only species that go extinct. Why aren't these species the branches that went fucking extinct? You're fucking cherry picking and fucking lying through your ass. Oh. Chromosome count proves evolution is wrong. I'm going to find this one fucking amusing because you're going to fuck this up. I can guarantee it.
There is no scientific evidence that a species can change the number of chromosomes within the DNA. The chromosome count within each species is fixed. This is the reason a male from one species cannot mate successfully with a female of another species. Man could not evolve from a monkey. Each species is locked into its chromosome count that cannot be changed. If an animal developed an extra chromosome or lost a chromosome because of some deformity, it could not successfully mate. The defect could not be passed along to the next generation. Evolving a new species is scientifically impossible. For example, a dog has only 22 chromosomes, whereas a monkey has 54, and a cat has 38. Half of the total number of chromosomes are contained in the female reproductive cells, and half are contained in the male, so the exact total number is brought together in the offspring. Humans have 46 chromosomes. This chromosome count is a steady factor. This determines what is called the fixity of species, because the chromosome count doesn't vary. People always give birth to people. Dogs always give birth to dogs. The genes can produce variety within the species, but cannot result in a different species.
Now, we did let that play on for a little while, but it was worth getting all that shit about chromosomes out and letting them dig themselves the big hole. Yes, we know we have 46 chromosomes. Yes, we know that gorillas and apes have 48 chromosomes. But we also know from looking at our chromosomes that 2 of our chromosomes have fused together, taking away those 2. So we can see then the evolutionary path back. Oh, dear me. You're sort of cocking up here little by little by little, and then a fucking lot. You've heard that chromosomes, numbers, oh, don't let breeding, and not looked into it any more than that, have you? No, not at all. So, yeah, let's move on. Let's continue letting you dig this big fucking hole.
Genes allow for people to be short, tall, fat, thin, blonde, brunette. But they are still all human beings. The chromosomes make crossing of the species an uncrossable barrier. This certainly would hinder any evolution. Dogs cannot breed with cats. This fact stops evolution dead in its tracks. Sometimes 2 species are close enough to crossbreed, but the offspring are usually sterile. This is the case when horses and donkeys crossbreed. A male donkey and a female horse will produce a mule. Farmers often preferred mules as work animals prior to the development of the farm tractor. A hinny is the offspring of a female donkey and a male horse. The hinny and mule usually cannot produce offspring. These animals show that evolution is not possible.
No, that just shows that the crossbreeding isn't possible, not that evolution isn't possible. Now, I know what you're getting at. You're getting at the fact that how can we have had this many chromosomes, but our ancestors might not have, or gorillas don't have now. And it's because of how they split and how they capped and how they've changed over millions of years. If we went back 2 million years ago, proto-humans, whatever level we would be at then, may have been able to crossbreed with the proto-gorillas that we have now, whatever level they were at. It would all depend. Just because we can't now doesn't mean we couldn't then. And we know that the chromosomes were the same because we can actually look at them. We can look at the gorilla ones and go, look, this is their pair here, but this is our version of it there, and we can see how it's split and paired at the other ends, and how the cappings are different. Look into it more and you'd understand it more. Oh, for God's sake, at least that's the fucking end of this tirade of fucking shit. Now, hopefully I've split this into 2 parts. I thought it was going to be a fucking long video. But hopefully we'll get this out. You can get it seen. Hopefully you'll enjoy it all. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe below. And we shall see you all again soon. I am the Sarcastic Barman. Thank you very much and good night.